This next graphic shows where the Woodford shale wells have been drilled in Oklahoma from 2004 to 2011. Over 2,000 wells are shown, with the vast majority being horizontal wells. These are located in south central, west central, and east central Oklahoma. Not included in the graphic are new wells in the Mississippi Lime Formation in north central Oklahoma. The next graphic shows water usage for hydraulic fracturing in the state, ranging from less than 2 million to more than 10 million gallons per well. Over 2,000 Woodford shale wells have been drilled. This graphic shows where these wells have been drilled, and with the circles identifies how much water is being used. Some of these are using as much as 10 million gallons per well. This is occurring in the various basins in the state: the Anadarko, the Arkoma, the Ardmore, and the Cherokee. Those dots up in the north central part of the state are where the Mississippi Lime Formation is occurring. The next graphic is data from the Oklahoma Comprehensive Water Plan, showing water usage for different water sectors and demand projections out to the year 2060. What's shown here are the demand projections, and in 2010 the actual water usage for these various sectors, including thermoelectric power, self-supplied residential, self-supplied industrial, oil and gas in yellow, municipal and industrial, livestock, and crop irrigation at the bottom. As you can see, the vast majority of water usage is for crops, municipal and industrial, and thermoelectric power. Oil and gas use a very small percentage, and although that percentage is projected to increase, it still represents a very small percentage. The Oklahoma Water Resources Board estimates the oil and gas sector to use less than 5% of overall water demands. Permits for water generally range from 1 to 30 acre-feet of water, while public water supply and agriculture uses are hundreds to thousands of acre-feet. The oil and gas industry continues to find ways to use less water through recycling and use of marginal waters. Marginal quality waters were identified in the Oklahoma Comprehensive Water Plan as potential sources of water for the oil and gas sector. This is water not typically used for public drinking water supply and includes treated wastewater effluent, stormwater runoff, brackish groundwater, flowback, and produced water. The Oklahoma Corporation Commission is the state agency responsible for the regulation of the oil and gas industry in Oklahoma. Its statutory mandates are to prevent waste, to protect rights of landowners to groundwater, and abate pollution. The state of Oklahoma, via the Oklahoma Corporation Commission, has also been delegated by EPA the authority to administer the Underground Injection Control Program under the Safe Drinking Water Act. The Oklahoma Corporation Commission has mapped the base of treatable groundwater in the state in order to protect freshwater aquifers. These maps are used to determine casing and cementing requirements for wells to avoid contamination of groundwater. For example, at what depth to set the surface casing to protect groundwater. Oklahoma Corporation Commission also provides standards for pits and tanks used for temporary storage of flowback and other wastewaters. The Oil and Gas Conservation Division of the OCC encourages recycling of flowback water from hydraulic fracturing and has developed rules to provide for recycling operations. Recycling of flowback water regulations in Oklahoma address the issue of pit storage for wastewater. For a holding capacity of 50,000 barrels or less, approval is done in the district office. For pits larger than 50,000 barrels, there are new rules that are effective in July of 2010. Construction of these pits must be supervised by a professional engineer, and there must be an individual surety for pit closure. For pits larger than 100,000 barrels, public notice is required. And if protested, then a public hearing is required, and final approval is by commission order. This is a picture of the DEVON Energy CANA-WOODFORD Water Reuse Facility storage pond. It has a 502,000 barrel capacity. It uses a 60 mil high-density polyethylene liner. It has an automated leak detection system. It is linked to pipelines capable of handling 30,000 barrels per day and can connect to 36 different well sites, thus reducing truck traffic in the area. The reuse water will contribute to the completion of 270 wells in the area. Water used for oil and gas exploration and production activities usually requires a temporary permit. The following graphics show the location of 90-day temporary permits since 2007. The green dots represent groundwater withdrawal permits, the blue surface water permits. As you might expect, more groundwater withdrawals are used as one moves further to the western part of the state, where surface water is not as plentiful as in the east. Shown there, you can see for groundwater there were over 2,500 permits granted during this period for over 15,000 acre-feet of water. For surface water, over 7,000 permits for more than 45,000 acre-feet of water. Long-term water right permits are shown in this next graphic. Here, again, you see that the long-term permits are much fewer than the short-term permits. And again, groundwater permits are more prevalent in the western part of the state. In terms of wastewater disposal, in Oklahoma, flowback, which is not recycled, is sent to deep underground injection disposal wells. These are permitted in the Underground Injection Control Program. Discharge to surface water is prohibited. There are currently over 4,100 disposal wells in Oklahoma. Final disposal of flowback water is only authorized for underground injection in Oklahoma. The Oklahoma Gas Conservation Division approves all wells for disposal under the Underground Injection Control Program.